On this accord, P1454 is an FTP sensor circuit range or performance problem. In plain language, the PCM is seeing fuel tank pressure information that may not make sense for the EVAP system conditions. The vehicle may run normally, or it may just have the warning light on. Broadly, this can involve the FTP sensor signal, EVAP venting restrictions, the canister vent shut valve, or connector and terminal issues. Before you start testing, save the captured data and snapshot information, then start with the basic system checks. If other codes are present, check what they mean first so you are not chasing a symptom from another fault. Start with the EVAP system check. Key on, clear P1454 with the HDS, then turn the ignition off. Remove the fuel fill cap and wait 1 minute. Key back on and watch the FTP sensor parameter on the HDS. The value should be compared to -0, 67.0, 67 kPa. If it is inside that range, move on and try to duplicate the failure. If it is outside that range, skip ahead to the FTP sensor, vent hose restriction check. Now install the fuel fill cap and clear the code again. Start the engine and let it idle with no load until the radiator fan comes on. Then monitor EVAP PC duty in the HDS data list while holding the engine at 3,000 RPM with EVAP PC duty at 20% or more for at least 4 minutes. After that, let the engine idle and check the OBD status for P1454. If the HDS says failed, the fault is duplicated, so continue into the vent line check. If it says passed, the system may be okay right now. Treat that as a possible intermittent. Review the captured operating conditions and check for poor connections, loose terminals between the FTP sensor and PCM, and possible vent side blockage concerns. If it says not completed, keep the engine idling until the HDS gives a result. With the failure duplicated, clear the code, turn the ignition off, and disconnect the EVAP canister vent hose from the EVAP canister. Key on and check the FTP sensor value again against -0, 67.0, 67 kPa. If the value now falls in range, check for a blockage in the EVAP canister vent hose or the drain tube joint, then move to repair verification. If it does not fall in range, turn the ignition off and check the EVAP canister vent shut valve. Remove the valve from the canister, reconnect its 2P connector, key on, command EVAP CVS on with the HDS EVAP test, and watch the valve operation. If the valve is free of corrosion and operates properly, treat the valve as OK and continue. If it is corroded or does not operate properly, replace the EVAP canister vent shut valve, then verify the repair. Next, disconnect the vent hose from the FTP sensor and check the FTP sensor parameter again against -0, 67.0, 67 kPa. If it is now in range, check for a blockage in the FTP sensor vent hose, then verify the repair. If it is still not in range, turn the ignition off and remove the FTP sensor from the EVAP canister while keeping its connector connected. Check the FTP sensor value one more time against -0, 67.0, 67 kPa. If the value is in range with the sensor removed, the FTP sensor port is OK and the EVAP canister has an internal blockage. Replace the EVAP canister, then verify the repair. If the value is still not in range, replace the FTP sensor, then verify the repair. Keep verification separate from the testing path. Turn the ignition off, reinstall the parts in reverse order, key on, reset the PCM with the HDS, and complete the PCM idle learn procedure. Then monitor OBD status for P1454. If the HDS says passed, the P1454 troubleshooting is complete. If any other pending or confirmed codes remain, handle those separately. If it says failed, go back to the first FTP sensor check and recheck the path. If it says not completed, hold the engine at 3,000 RPM with EVAP PC duty at 20% or more until the HDS gives a result. The key with P1454 is to prove whether the FTP sensor reading normalizes when you open up each part of the EVAP vent path. Work the checks in order. Use the HDS status to decide whether the failure is active, intermittent, or not finished running, and do not replace parts until the branch points you there. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.